Hey guys, Toby Mathis here, and I want to give you a quick update on what's going on with the Corporate Transparency Act. I'll just cut right to the chase. There was a court decision in Alabama that ruled that the Corporate Transparency Act was unconstitutional, but it only applies to certain plaintiffs, and I'll get into that in a second. So for everybody else who's not a member of the National Federation of Independent Businesses, I believe that's the name of the organization, which is there was Isaac Winkles, any reporting companies in which Isaac Winkles is a beneficial owner or applicant, the National Small Business Association, and members of the National Small Business Association as of March 1st, 2024, do not have to comply with the Corporate Transparency Act's requirements for reporting beneficial owners. Now, if you're not familiar with the Corporate Transparency Act, I've done videos on it. There's a ton of information out there. I'd go to my video. I'll put the link in below. But basically, if you're a filed organization with any state or Indian tribe in the United States, you're going to have to comply with reporting beneficial ownership information and those who are in charge of your company. So there's thresholds here, 20% for ownership, but you're going to have to report information on each of those parties. If you're an incorporating service, you're probably going to have to report. I mean, there's a whole bunch of folks that have to report. Go to FinCEN, which is the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, and you just type in FinCEN CTA, and you'll probably be able to get there pretty quick. But there's lots of information there about what you have to report. And generally speaking, if you were in existence prior to January 1st, 2024, which is when it took effect, the Corporate Transparency Act itself was passed in 2021, but it did not become in force until January 1st, 2024. If you were a company that already existed, you have the year to get your information in. If you're a new company, you have 90 days right, as it sits right now, and we're in March of 2024. So where does this leave us? We have a court decision saying it's unconstitutional, but it applies only to a specific group. Now, what you can expect is other groups will seize on this and challenge the constitutionality of the CTA. But as of right now, we're required to adhere to the requirements of the Corporate Transparency Act. Failure to do so could equal $500 a day. So my suggestion to folks is to continue going forth like it's going to be enforced, like it is enforceable for now. And if it's eventually struck down, FinCEN will put a notice out. Now, they did put a notice out, and the case was actually National Small Business United versus Yellen, and it's case number 522 CV 01448 in the Northern District of Alabama. It's a federal court there. Northeastern Division, entered a final declaratory judgment concluding that the Corporate Transparency Act exceeds the constitutional limits on Congress's power and enjoining the Department of the Treasury and FinCEN from enforcing the Corporate Transparency Act against the plaintiffs. So what did FinCEN say? They said, we will comply with the court's order as long as it remains in effect. And as a result, the government is not currently enforcing the Corporate Transparency Act against the plaintiffs in the action, Isaac Winkles reporting companies in which Isaac Winkles is the beneficial owner or applicant, the National Small Business Association, and members of the National Small Business Association as of March 1st, 2024. Those individuals and entities are not required to report beneficial information to FinCEN at this time. I don't know what happens if you go and you join the National Small Business Association. I guess FinCEN would say you're still required to comply. They're going to be appealing this thing. This is a federal court action, so Court of Appeals, then Supreme Court. So we'll continue to watch this. I'll continue to put updates, but my recommendation to clients is going forward as though you're a reporting company and you're going to have to comply with this thing until another court actually strikes it for all folks, in which case then the requirement will cease. Now, these are not public documents, so if you report and they determine that you shouldn't have had to, it's like filing a tax return that you shouldn't have had to. It's still not a public database. It still stays within a small group. I don't know what's going to happen So I can't give you any advice on that. What I can say is that it's still a requirement to file as of this time, unless you're a member of one of those plaintiff groups. Hey, do you have questions about your situation and whether an asset protection or a tax strategy might benefit you? Just type in strategy, all caps, in the comments below, and we'll reach out to you for a free consultation. Make sure that we're answering the questions that you have and put you on the right path.